So you beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. Today I have to ask the question, is time finally up for Bobby Kotick? Now this is something that the Call of Duty community has probably wished for a period of time, but in today's video we're going to speak about a damning report that has been put out today from the Wall Street Journal. Now if you do enjoy the video at any portion, please don't forget to drop a like, and if you are new here, consider subscribing with the notification bell click so you get my Call of Duty videos as soon as they are published. So as a Call of Duty fan, and most of you are going to be Call of Duty fans watching this video, most of us would believe that Bobby Kotick is the devil incarnate. He is the root of most of the problems that we experience in Call of Duty, in the world, the universe of Call of Duty, whether it be skill-based matchmaking, supply drops, you name the problems that you've had with the game previously, catering to noobs, compressing the skill gap. These are probably decisions that have been pushed forward from the captain of the ship, which is Bobby. And whilst we definitely have some contempt towards the man, there is definitely a few underlying things that have gone on in front of our eyes, not necessarily in plain sight, but if you're paying attention and you start reading these articles, you'll probably start thinking to yourself, that's definitely a 2 and 2 together moment. This gives this more logic, more feasibility in terms of if it's true or not. Now, everything we're talking about here is an accusation. It's alleged to have happened. There's no concrete evidence to what I'm presenting here to say that it's a definite. That would take a court case, and I know there have been plenty of lawsuits thrown around. Whether they've been settled behind closed doors, there's a distinct possibility, especially with the wealth that is behind Activision and Bobby Kotick. But when we look into the remit that is Call of Duty, just pay close attention to how many times, and the most famous one arguably is the split up of the original infamous Infinity Ward. It was Zampella and West when Modern Warfare 2 came out, and it all hell broke loose when they left the studio and took several employees with them. Bobby Kotick was heavily involved in that. When we move forward and we hear about games not being complete and other studios having to take over that particular development cycle, or when it's gone to a 3-year development cycle, this seems like it's actually to cover up certain things that have been going on in office. So today, part of the damning report is Dan Bunting, a co-head of Activision's Trakky studio, was accused by a female employee of harassing her after a night of drinking. Activision's Human Resource Department and other supervisors launched an internal investigation in 2019 and recommended that Dan Bunting was to be fired. However, Mr. Kotick intervened and had him kept at the company. Now, he has led some very successful productions of Call of Duty titles for Trakky. He was disciplined on the basis that he would have to have counselling, and then he would be allowed to remain at the company. Now, this was apparently enforced by Bobby Kotick, which I think is a diabolical thing to do if someone's being accused of that. But again, if you're accused of something, it doesn't necessarily equate to someone being guilty until they've been proven guilty. When he was confronted about this by a spokesperson, Bunting didn't respond, and in fact he actually disappeared from the company. Either he was terminated or he terminated himself in terms of employment. Whilst this has been unfolding today, there was a double down from Activision's board to say committed to making Activision Blizzard the most welcoming and inclusive company in the industry under Bobby Kotick's leadership. The company is already implementing industry-leading changes, including a zero-tolerance harassment policy. Now, that's quite poignant in terms of them saying that, because that's almost an admission to me that something has happened in the past, and there are accusations going around left, right and center at the moment. And as I've said to you earlier in the video, it's kind of been a toxic environment, and we've seen toxic things happen as a community with this man, with this company, and with people that work for this gentleman. Also, them backing him isn't good news for any of us. Now, ultimately, would this ship, and I'm talking about Call of Duty here, would it go in a better direction without Bobby Kotick? Well, that remains to be seen, because the shareholders, at the end of the day, they get the say. But I just believe Bobby is ruthless enough, and this is why he gets these big bonuses all the time, is ruthless enough to make certain implementations into the company, into the game. You name it, he will do it. He has also released a statement on the back of what's gone on today. People have walked out either because of his statement or the board statement, but people have literally downed tools now. It's getting that serious, and he's basically had this wrote by a lawyer. It's very respectful in wording and careful in wording, and it's one of those ones where you can see there's a clear attempt to get people back on side. Talking of getting people back on side, apparently staff were given 2 weeks off for Thanksgiving, but now it seems as if they was given that to kind of, you know, make them get into the festive spirit as Christmas is on the approach as well. And they come back, and he is potentially known that this article was going to drop around the time that they was going to resume work. So he's definitely doing damage control himself. I'm not going to read out what he's wrote, because I don't believe a word of it personally. This guy's lied to many a person in the world, millions of people in the world, as you've probably experienced yourself if you're a COD fan that's played this game for any period of time. There are other accusations that are going around as well, and there have been several lawsuits that have been progressed against the individual and the studio and the company as well. So one of them including someone who took over as a woman, and she was clearly paid less than the male counterparts, and then harassment in the workplace, sexualization of women. To me, there is definitely a clear toxic environment going on in the likes of Activision Blizzard, because it has spilled over in the public domain a couple times, and there's definitely, reading in between the lines as a fan of this franchise for many years, there's definitely things that have happened that I would consider suspect, even more so now that this report has come out. So will Bobby Kotick actually be shown the door for this? I don't know. He is a very powerful man, and listen, he's got enough money to walk away if he wants to, if he has to. But the amount of money that he makes this company, that's why he gets these ridiculous bonuses, because that's a drop in the ocean to the billions and billions of dollars he makes for this company. Money talks, unfortunately, and money takes precedence in this day and age over a lot of things, even people's souls. So on that basis, although I would like to see a change of direction with Activision, I just don't think it's going to happen. Guys, down in the comment section, let me know your feelings and thoughts on this. If this is true, then it is pretty damn disgusting, and it's quite weird that these things keep coming up on the radar. It's an environment that originally I would have thought I would love to have flourished in. Making games for a living, it sounds like the most amazing job in the world, but even then you can't get away from the likes of things happening in the workplace that go against you. I'm someone myself who's been in a situation where I was harassed and suspended and pretty much lost my job for 2 weeks until I had to appeal. And I definitely know what it feels like when you are down and out and you believe that a corporate entity is got more power than you to take away essentially what is your livelihood, and you're not being heard by people or People are posting on the likes of social media like Facebook, making out that you was doing certain things that you wasn't doing, and all sorts of rumors start flying around, and that creates a lot of pressure, especially when you've got to consider that you might not have money to put food on the table. So I can only imagine if this is true again, as I've said throughout the game, because it is the video, because it is an accusation. It can't be very good. And as someone who would love to have worked in a gaming studio, it makes me think to myself that it doesn't matter what industry you work in, these things have the potential to happen. It's very, very unfortunate. Guys, there are many buttons you could hit, but the like and subscribe button, I hope they took your fancy. And as always, guys, don't forget to stay on the right track. Peace.